Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Statistics and probability are essential because these disciplines form the basic foundation of all machine learning algorithms, deep learning, artificial intelligence, and data science. In fact, mathematics and probability is behind everything around us, from shapes, pattern, and colors to the count. Petals in flower mathematics are embedded in each and every aspect of our lives. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss the roadmap for today. With you, we are going to begin the session by understanding what is data after that. We'll move on and look at the different categories of data like quantitative and qualitative data. Then we'll discuss what exactly statistics is, the basic terminologies in statistics, and a couple of sampling techniques. Once we are done with that, we'll discuss different types of statistics which involve descriptive and inferential statistics. Then, in the next session, we will mainly be focusing on descriptive statistics here. We'll understand the different measures of center, measures of spread information gain, and entropy. We'll also understand all of these measures with the help of a use case. And finally, we'll discuss what exactly a confusing matrix is. Once we have covered the entire descriptive statistics module, we'll discuss the probability module. Here, we'll understand what exactly probability is and the different terminologies in probability. We will also study the different probability distributions. Then we'll discuss the types of probability, which include marginal probability, joint and conditional probability. Then we move on and discuss a use case wherein we will see examples that shows us the different types of probability work, and to better understand Bayes' theorem, and we look at a small example. Also, I forgot to mention that at the end of the descriptive statistic module, we'll be running a small demo in R language. So, for those of you who don't know much about R language, I'll be explaining every line in depth. But if you want to have a more in-depth understanding about R, I'll leave a couple of blogs and a couple of video in the description box. You can all definitely check out that content. Now, after we have completed the probability module, we'll discuss the inferential statistics module. We'll start this module by understanding what is point estimation. We'll discuss what is confidence interval and how we can estimate the confidence interval. We'll also discuss margin of error, and we'll understand all of these concepts by looking at a small use case. We finally end the inferential real statistics module by looking at what hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is a very important part in inferential statistics. So we'll end the session by looking at a use case that discusses how hypothesis testing works, and to sum everything up, we'll look at a demo that explains how inferential statistics works. So guys, there's a lot to cover today. So let's move ahead and take a look at our first topic, which is what is data. Now this is quite simple question. If I ask any of you what is data, you will see that it's a set of number or some sort of documents that have been stored in my computer. Now data is actually everything. Look around you. There is a data everywhere. Each click of your phone generates more data than you know. Now this generated data provides insights for analysis and helps us making better business decisions. This is why data is so important to you. To give you a formal definition, data refers to facts and statistics collected together for reference or analysis. This is the definition of data in terms of statistics and probability. So, as we know, data can be collected, it can be measured and analyzed. It can be visualized by using statistical model and graphs. Now, data is divided into two major subcategories. So first, we have qualitative data and quantitative data. These are the two different types of data. Under qualitative data, we have nominal and ordinal data, and under qualitative data, discrete and continuous data. Now let's focus on qualitative data. Now this type of data deals with characteristics and descriptors that can't be easily measured but can be observed subjectively. Now qualitative data is further divided into nominal and ordinal data. So nominal data is any sort of data that doesn't have any order or ranking. An example of nominal data is gender. There is no ranking in gender. There is only male, female or other. There is no 1, 2, 3, 4 or any sort of ordering in gender. And race is another example of nominal data. Now ordinal data is basically an ordered series of information. Let's say that you went to a restaurant. Your information is stored in the form of customer ID. So basically you are represented with a customer ID. Now you would have rated their service as either good or average. That's how no ordinal data is, and similarly they will have a record of other customers who visit the restaurant along with their ratings. So any data which has some sort of sequence or some sort of order to it, it is known as ordinal data. So guys, this is pretty simple to understand. Now let's move on and look at quantitative data. So quantitative data basically deals with numbers and things. You can understand that by word quantitative itself. Quantitative is basically quantity. So these with numbers that deal with anything that you can measure objectively. So there are two types of quantitative data. There is discrete and continuous data. Now discrete data is also known as categorical data, and it can hold a finite number of possible values. Now the number of students in a class is a finite number, but can't have an infinite number of students in a class. Let's say in your 5th grade, there were 100 students in your class. There weren't infinite number, but there was a definite finite number of students in your class. That's discrete data. Next, we have continuous data. Now this type of data can hold an infinite number of possible values. So when you say weight of a person is a simple example of continuous data. What I mean to say is my weight can be 50 kgs, or it can be 50.1 kgs, or it can be 50.001 kgs, or 50.0001, or is 50.023, and so on. There are infinite number of possible values. So this is what I meant by continuous data. This is the difference between discrete and continuous data. And also I would like to mention a few other things over here. Now there are a couple of types of variables as well. We have a discrete variables and we have a continuous variable. A discrete variable is also known as categorical variable, and it can hold values of different categories. Let's say that you have a variable called message, and there are two types of wire used that this variable can hold. Let's say that your message can either be a spam message or a non-spam message. That's when you call a variable a discrete or categorical variable, because it can hold values that represent different categories of data. Now, continuous variables are basically variables that can store a finite number of values. So, the weight of a person can be denoted as a continuous variable. Let's say there is a variable called weight and it can store an infinite number of possible values. That's why we'll call it a continuous variable. So guys, basically variable is anything that can store a value. So if you associate any sort of data with a table, then it will become either discrete variable or continuous variable. There are also dependent and independent types of variables. Now we won't discuss all of that in depth because that's pretty understandable. I'm sure all of you know what is an independent variable and dependent variable. Dependent variable is any variable whose value depends on any other independent variable. So guys, that much knowledge I expect, or if you do have. In the next session, we will discuss the statistics and basic terminologies in statistics. So, thank you so much guys.